African food is not what my grandmother's making. No, is where an African consciousness takes and touches into the African. So the food that we are preparing compared to other food, which is African food, compared to other food. I'm not saying other food is not African. You know, people eat halal, people eat kosher.
Yeah.
That's fine, right? But in terms of this cuisine, it's very healthy. How can I use food as a weapon of resistance? So when I say I don't eat this food, that's a form of resistance.
Welcome to the podcast called The Battle for African Agriculture, where we explore the front lines of food, power, and resistance across the African continent. I'm your host, Belay, and today we dive into a story that is much about memory and identity, and it's about politics and power. Our guest is Chief Njathi Kabui.
That's correct.
Is that the correct
Yes,
name?
very well.
Njathi Kabui.
Very well, yes.
And he's a renowned chef, in Kenya and in the US and all over the world. We're so much happy to have him. I think an hour ago,
Yes.
he cooked food upstairs there where we are having a meeting, and I tasted his food, and it's fantastic. Welcome, Chief Kabui.
Thank you very much for having
great
me
to
and for
having
the
you.
wonderful job you've done
Yeah.
inviting all the chefs here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Who is Chief Kabui? Can you tell us? Can you tell me and the audience, please?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Njathi Kabui. Before I was a chef, I was born in Kenya and I spent 20 years of my life in Kenya. And I spent, out of that 20 years, I spent 10 years in my ancestral home, which is in a place called Gadiegira, close to Mount Kenya, where my mother was what they call subsistence farm. We grew coffee, all the food we ate, and the coffee was what they call cash crop. We had animals, 95% of the food we were growing. My father used to work in the city, so he would come only on the weekend. He owned a restaurant and a bar. So at the age of 10, as a young boy, I wanted to go with my father, and the city was so attractive. So I went to the city. I spent 10 years in the city. After I graduated, I went to the US. When I got into the US, I realized that all my life I had been eating great food, right? So when I was in this with my mother, all grew food, farm grown food that we grew ourselves. When I went to the city, my father was very, very conscious about food. So we cooked at home. We would go to really good restaurants every now and then, like Indian restaurant, Arabic, Middle Eastern, like this. Very good food. But when I went to the US to go to college, it was highly processed food. I could feel my body rejected food. So though I was going to there to study business, I changed completely because of the taste of the food. And I started studying food from that point. So that's when eventually I studied political science instead of business because I wanted to understand the politics of food. I also studied philosophy because of my professor, but I studied medical anthropology and urban anthropology for graduate school. And I studied that because during my undergraduate and, hanging out in Memphis, Tennessee was where Dr. King had been killed maybe 15 years ago before I got there. So it was a hotbed of civil rights movement. So my professor, the other people in the community were really activist oriented. So I studied medical anthropology because I realized that it's not just a matter of changing the food system, but also the culture. So medical anthropology studies how our culture contributes to our food insecurity or the food issues. So after that, I went to graduate school. I studied for myself instead of going to PhD because I wanted to understand myself as a person of African descent. And I looked at the PhD program. I didn't feel like they are going to address my issue. So then after that, I went to culinary school. So now, after that, I designed...
Culinary school.
Yes, culinary school,
Okay.
the chef. Then after that, I designed my own cuisine as a product for my work. I call it Afro-futuristic conscious cuisine. Afro because it's African-based, but also as a tribute to Fela Kuti. Because Fela Kuti, in my humble opinion, is the most honest artist And
Really?
he was very honest.
Now,
And I'll tell you.
yeah, it's very interesting word to use.
Oh, yes.
Honest for an
Oh,
artist.
very
What do you
honest.
mean?
I'll tell you. What? And I'll tell you before I tell you that,
Yeah.
that his path my path mirrors that of Fela Kuti. When he went, Fela Kuti was just raised by a principal. The father was a principal of a school, but he was also very religious. So he was very Western oriented community. Family. When he went to study engineering in England, he liked music, and he had a girlfriend. He loved women. So he had a girlfriend from California, and they went together in California during their school break. And while there, the girlfriend called Isadoles took him to see the Black Panthers in Oakland. When Fela Kuti listened to the message of Black consciousness from the Black Panthers, it changed completely his life. So when he went back, he changed his name, he changed his music, and now he started fusing African American jazz music and African music. And that's how he came up with Afrobeat. More important than that, he used the music as a weapon of raising the consciousness of the people. He got into a lot of trouble with the corrupt political system. So for that, when I was young, my oldest brother was very interested in music, just like Fela Kuti. So they'll write music. But my family didn't encourage him to do that, just like Fela Kuti family. But when I was very young, 6, 7 years old, the music that was playing around me without intending to listen was Fela Kuti's music. So when I go to the US and I hear people playing Fela Kuti, I say, oh, I thought this stupid old village music. What is these people playing Fela Kuti in the US? I think they'll be playing pop, Michael Jackson music. But this music was very popular, especially among people I respected, people who are activists. I say, why? I didn't even know what he was saying in the music, but I just know the beat is good, and it's just familiar beat. I don't care whether it's good. I didn't really even think it was good or bad, to be honest. I just familiar music. So I started reading about this guy who's African, who my brother is listening in the village, and this music is being played in the United States. That's when I came into understanding what he stood for and his history. So Fela Kuti. So Afro because he's African, and Afrobeat. Conscious because this food, the way I approach food, is very intellectual and very intentional. Very intentional. Futuristic because I don't approach food from the perspective of only honoring my ancestors or my traditional food. I start thinking about food from this perspective of I want to be here in the future. How do I eat so that I can be here in the future in the best condition possible? So since February 28, 1991, I only eat organic food. So if I come, there's no organic food, I don't. If I'm traveling on the plane, I take my own food. If I'm going, I came here, I came with a suitcase. I had my pot to cook for the demonstration. I have the food, I have the spices, I have the all like this, right? So this is the cuisine I make. And this cuisine, so this cuisine also is a vehicle of redefining or expanding the definition of African food. That African food is not only what is made in Africa, but everywhere Africans step and they claim the soil, that's Africa. And they can be inspired by that ground to create, to recreate, or to expand the idea of African food there. And it still be African food. African food is not what my grandmother's making. No, it's where an African consciousness takes and touches, and it can be African. So if I find plantains somewhere, saffron, I make it African. Yeah, I was like, so that's the idea. And this finally, it was a way of me creating or getting around some of the racist issue with racism, because I have a product that I can use for creating employment for myself. So it touches on all the.
Yeah, that's critical. Oh, fascinating. I'm going to listen to Fela Kuti with a new ear now.
Oh, you better.
Yeah, you often speak about food as identity.
Sure.
In your view, what makes African food African? You answered it.
Yes.
But why is this an identity under threat now?
Oh, good. Very wonderful question. Thank you very much for that question. So, and it's very good next question because it expands on what I just analyzed. So think about it. Now, everywhere, when Europeans were coming to Africa, everywhere they will go, they will name the place. They'll say, this is Mount Albert. This is Lake Victoria. But there are people there. When Columbus went to America, oh, I discovered it. There's people there. So we have to understand that we are living in a political dynamic world. That you are not going to survive if you don't engage in this political dialectics. So you always have to understand in anything that's going on, what is my role and what's in my. So we are not building your house and you say, okay, you guys have built, go home. It's my house. Okay, but we put in our effort. No. So I have to claim this idea and use this idea to build who I am, but also to contribute to the greater dialogue. So that people can just say there's food and it's only Japanese or it's only French or Italian or Ethiopian. People can say, oh, this African idea. Finally, I'll give a very perfect example. I was once invited to a very big university called the University of Michigan State University in Ann Arbor. Very big university. They have like maybe 60,000, 50, 60,000 students. Wow. So their dining services, it's so huge, it made me spin. They break eggs like 7,000 eggs in a day. 7,000 eggs, I can't wrap my head, actual eggs. And then they have other eggs that are in containers, plastic containers they cook for people. So very big, right? So there was one of the most innovative class I've ever seen. So listen to this class. Class was called Food Literacy for All. The class didn't have a teacher, a professor, and they didn't have a textbook. Above that, there was about 300 students, I think, maybe 200 students. It was a big hall for the class. There were 16 seats that was only available to people who are not college students. So those, if you are from the community, you can just get online, you reserve that seat and you sit in the seat. No, I've never seen any other class like this. The reason why they did that is because they invited the experts, legislators, senators, policymakers, some of the most foremost food writers, some of the foremost activists, some of the most foremost nutritionists they can get, and they give a class. So every class, when you come, you listen to them. So somebody I knew mentioned to me underground, they say, hey, this class is coming. Then they streamed it online or YouTube. So you can sit down or live, you can see it. When he told me some of the people I most highly respect, I knew I'll be listening to the class. Then they emailed me and say, we want you to be. They want me to be a speaker. So one
of the 16 people.
No, 16 are the people who are sitting to listen. The speakers are the people who are every week will come, all these
from all
people,
over.
From all over, from policymakers to nutrition, so right, like this. So when they told me that, I was really greatly humbled. So I went and I did my presentation, obviously, on the issues that make African food. Yeah. So one of the points I made is, I said African food is greatly underappreciated in the United States, more than any other cuisine. And I made my case. I say Africans have contributed to the American foodways under the worst conditions compared to any other racial group. But when I hear the conversation about food, is usually only African American food. Yeah. But I said, if these people were taken away from Africa, do you not think that Africa suffered? If you steal a baby from the mother, can you only say this baby suffered, but not the mother? The mother doesn't suffer. Yeah. He's just happy to lose the child.
But my next question just is connected with that. So what is lost when African people, especially the youth, are disconnected from the indigenous food cultures?
Oh, good, wonderful. Yeah. Same question. So it all very. So look, when I say this, I didn't know who I'm speaking. I didn't know. No one person in the group.
Okay, in the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Then after I finished, this guy came and said, "Hey, thank you very much. I understand. I'm sitting on one of the 16 seats. I work with dining services. I can show you tomorrow." I said, "That's fine. I have time in the morning before I catch my flight." I didn't know this guy. He went and talked to the biggest boss the one who controls the food. So when he's showing me around, I saw this guy. He's coming. He said, "Oh, this is a big boss. This boss has a budget. In this university, they control the food. In other universities, they hire a contractor. But in this university, everybody who works in the kitchen is working for the university. In most other campuses, they have a contractor. So if you're working in the kitchen, they work for the contract they work. So this guy, when he came to say hello to me, I said, this guy controlled a very big budget. I'm sure he's busy. He doesn't, what is it? Then he came and said, I said, this guy said, no. I thought he was just saying hello and say. Then he said, oh, my assistant here, he told me what challenge you said yesterday. And I want to give you a challenge. Design a program for us to have indigenous chefs that they can come and work with our chefs. So I went and designed it. They paid good money. They were paying something like $6,000-7,000 just for me to do that. I mean, that's not small money. For some people, it's small money. For some, yeah. But now, more important than the money, I opened the door for other chefs. So what do we lose when we, so the question was, what do we lose? We lose these opportunities, right? And finally, to wrap up, when I was there, I went to kosher kitchen. They have a kosher kitchen there. They have a halal kitchen, but they don't have an African kitchen. And then I asked these people, is this food organic? And they said, no. Or both of them. So I realized that in terms of health, I'm not trying to put anybody's cuisine down, but in terms of health, the cuisine that I prepare there is, so until that time, among the healthiest. So that pushes African food it promotes African food. And it also expands the diversity of the students when they taste different food. So African food is elevated like this.
Yeah. So if I understand you very well, one opportunity that they lose African use if they lose their own food.
Yes, they use
this kind of opportunity
that created yes.
Then opportunity. But in a bigger picture, if we lose our food.
Oh yeah, that's basic. Yes. So
as Africans.
Yes.
If the African youth, as they are doing now, are detached from the food that they eat, from their traditional culinary, what will be lost?
Yes, wonderful. So what I just said in passing, because of interest of time, I said the food, I say that for comparison purposes, but politely, right? That the food that we are preparing compared to other food, which is African food, compared to other food. I'm not saying other food is not African. You know, people eat halal, people eat kosher. That's fine, right? But in terms of this cuisine, it's very healthy. And because Africans are facing a lot of problems with their health, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, gallstones, you know, all these problems because of health, poor sight, you know, poor image of themselves, you know, migrate because of bad food, then Africans themselves or Africa itself becomes sicker. Because the youth are the future. So if we have the youth being sicker, then Africa becomes sicker. So we become sicker and we become poorer.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very good point. How do you see African food as a form of resistance?
Resistance, okay.
And against colonialism, globalization, and the industrial food system.
Oh, wonderful. So I've already covered that. I look at the consequences of colonization, enslavement, and exile. So that I look at it. I say these are disempowering us. One Ethiopian young man, I think he was here, and he asked me about working in the US and abroad. I told him about the challenges. So I said, but if you can work here, it'd be better for you because one of the things, you'll be much healthier. You have the possibility of being much healthier here as compared to being in a foreign country. Unless you're making a lot of money, you'll be working 3 jobs. You know, it's a foreign environment. You don't understand, especially people come to the US. They don't understand. They think the food is cheap. For example, this chicken, you don't know that chicken is very, very bad. So by the time you say, a lot of people, they gain weight and have this health issue. So for that, I've looked at some of the consequences of our oppression. And then I thought to myself, how can I use food as a weapon of resistance? So when I say I don't eat this food, that's a form of resistance. Because I'm upholding myself, my value.
More than anybody else.
More than anybody else.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. We are calling this episode the Battle for African Agriculture. What does that battle look like from your perspective, as you You are a chef and
Yes.
you are an
Yes.
activist.
Yes.
So why do we call it? Why do you think that I know this name is important to call it as a battle for Africa's future?
Yes. Ah, good.
Mm.
So I've studied the global food system, how it
Yeah,
operates,
fantastic.
right?
Yeah.
And I've come to, as a student of political science, I've come to understand how what they call statecraft. How do you design a state, right? And a state to exist has to have life, right? There has to have life. If the state is dead, then you don't have a state. So if you have to have life as an individual, you need air, you need water, you need food, or like that, or you understand. So in terms of a state, what does a state need to be vibrant?
Yeah.
One of those things, everything that a state needs everywhere becomes the currency that other states want in order to thrive better than the other state. So if you have food, every state will fight to get more food, because if you have more food, then you'll thrive better. Yeah. If you have more water, then here you can survive better. You can have more minerals, you can survive better. So I recognize that in statecraft, therein lies the cause of war. Countries fight so that they can survive better. They can have better lives that way. So that is where the battle for African agriculture comes in. Because food, there are three things that, in my understanding, that no state can survive if it doesn't control. One, it's energy. The second one is textile. The third one is food. Why? Textile, all these people in here, nobody's naked. Yeah. Everybody in here is doing. So if somebody can come and capture the market from you, look at all the things that people to grow the cotton or the fiber or the silk, all those people, all those jobs, they are taken by the person who is bringing textile for you. All the marketers, all the transporters, all the warehouse, all the designers, all the models, all the insurance companies, all these are gone. Okay, so and that's guaranteed market. Yeah. Energy and communication, almost the same. People have to communicate, have to transport everything. Yeah? So the last one is food. Yeah. Anybody, I don't care whether you didn't get in a car today to drive. I don't care whether you have to eat.
Yeah. No. What role do you think chefs, artists, and cultural workers play in defending African food system? What's your role?
Well, my role, good. If you understand this war, if you understand that we are in war, because behind every war, there's a market that people are fighting for. We are fighting, we want to dump used clothes here because we don't want you to have a vibrant industry that will make you powerful, that you can control you. So we have to dump used clothes, or we have to bring food because we have excess food and our farmers need market to sell their food. So we don't want you to grow the food here, just buy our market. So behind every war, there is a market. And behind every market, there's a potential for war. Yeah. Right? We understand that. Yeah. Now, once you understand that, then it's everybody's responsibility. If you want to enjoy certain standards of living in this state contraption we have, that you have to, everybody has to play your role. But you can say, oh, corruption is bad, but you're corrupting. We don't want pollution, and you throw. We want a clean Addis, but you're trashing everywhere. So it's everybody's responsibility to determine, according to their capacity and their ability, what role and their skill set. Mine is just to speak, to tell stories, and to cook. Yes.
Thank you very much. So you've been speaking against ultra-processed food, GMOs, and also imported diets.
Yes.
So how do these trends affect just health? Not just health, but sovereignty.
Sure. Now, to answer your question, I'll correct one thing. Yeah. It's not ultra-processed. At least I didn't say ultra-processed. I say ultra-programmed.
Is the difference?
Program? Yes. You see, if you put GPS, have phone. You say you live in Tigray. So you say, I want to go to
Mercato.
Mercato, or Sebastian. Mercato, that's one of Mercato. So you put on here, it'll take you step by step. Get out, left, right. Yeah. Where do you want to go? The food that you're talking about is designed by somebody just like the Google and going to Mercato. They'll take you step by step, get you there. Somebody sit down and they devise, they are so smart. They say, in order for me, long term, to create a market for my medicine or certain things that I want to sell, I'll program my food that when you eat, you need dental care. So you go to the dentist. When you eat, you have cancer. Oh, I have cancer medicine for you. When you eat, I have diabetes like this. So it's ultra designed food. If you understand it like this, or at least the way I understand it, it's easier for me to process it. But it's ultra processed. You see, that's neutral. It's like I'm smacking you, and you say he's just swinging his hand. It's very different for me just to swing my hand, but it's very different to say he's attacking me, because I can just be swinging my hand to give you 5 or like or some. So very, very intentional in the words that I use, because words have energy. So these foods are designed to disempower us. The people who follow corruption or do investigation, they follow the money.
Yeah.
So these guys are corrupt. Whether there's the money, there's a person who's starting, who is behind the scam or the design behind the corruption. So if you follow where the money is ending, those are the people who design. So these ultra design food to divert resources.
If I going back to design, you know, if you are given the opportunity to design African food, where would you start?
Oh, I've already done it. So I've already designed, and in fact, one of the things that I do is or speak about is African food design. I have designed a food that's African, well designed, thought without a lot of process. Starting from what seed do I use? What seed do I want? But before I do that, why am I designing this food? Before, what is it for the purpose? To liberate us and to raise like that. So that's African design. So where would I start? I would first start, or where I started. Now I started by first understanding our comprehensive issues that we face that are important to us in the design of statecraft. What kind of society do you want? What kind of Africa do I want? I start from there. Oh, I want a healthy Africa. Oh, okay. We start with we have to make sure we have where the less pollution, less polluted, dynamic, or very well respected. All these things are where I start. Then if that information feeds or drives my ultra designed food, or is that ultra program? Program. I say ultra process. Then I have a very, very well designed.
So you it's fascinating. You start with a vision, right?
Yes.
So what is the vision for African food?
Good.
Start from there.
I start with
then you design the food system.
I design system based on that vision. Yes.
That's very good. That's very true. I agree with you. What's food sovereignty for you?
So food sovereignty.
Okay. To you personally,
that's easy. I can very simply. I don't have to explain a lot of things. I can say this, right? The kind of food I've designed, I call it just food. Just food. Why? Because you cannot have food justice if you don't have just food. So I tell just food. Here you go. So what does just food means? It means food grown with justice across from the seed to the mouth, chewing. You're not chewing it with any bad intention. So the whole value chain from the soil, the water, is justice. There's no oppression. There's no interior design. You say, oh, this is ultra process. I say, no, it's not ultra process. It's ultra programmed for somebody else to benefit from your eating. So for you, you're thinking you're just eating. But somebody else is waiting for you laughing because they already hypnotize you. So justice, food justice. Just food. That's my whole struggle is for just food. That's the first thing. Then after defining just food, then I define something else. Something I call life worship. Life worship is consuming food with only one intention, and one intention alone: support of life. And it doesn't have any, it doesn't negotiate. It doesn't say, hey, why don't you have a thing, just a little drugs? Or, no. It has to support life and nothing else. We'll die, but we'll die not because somebody put natural color in the food and you didn't know about it. Right? Or they put highly processed ingredients that are like this. Yeah? So it's just food, just food and life washing. If we can do this, then the answer is very, very clear, right?
Yeah. No. I think, yeah, it's a very food for thought.
Thank you.
Very good
Thank
food.
you.
You've traveled all over the world, you
Sure.
know. How do global audiences respond to African food? And what does that tell you about the need for global shift
Yes.
in perception? No?
Yes, good, very good question. So, I think what the marketplace is a very good place to get to determine how successful a concept is. You think a cell phone is good, make it and put it in the marketplace. If nobody buys, it's not racism, it's nothing, the market didn't want it. So I can tell you, just mention that right now on the calendar, I probably have 25 gigs coming. 99% of them are in Europe. So that's number one.
What do you mean by gigs?
Gigs or work. I have invitations to either speak or do a demonstration.
Okay.
So we have work. So, and the people I work with, very good way to answer your question, are either museums or universities. So university is the institution of higher learning. So at least in my own assessment, the hardest person to lie to or to scam will be the professors at the university, right? So if themselves, they say, oh, we want you to have to come and speak. So that's one form of approval. Matter of fact, I can give a very, very important example in relationship to this. There's a professor from Ethiopia called Professor Hewan. She's here right now. She teaches at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Her and another professor called Meredith and Plaxidis. Plaxidis is from Zimbabwe, and Professor Meredith is American. She's white American. They both worked very hard and invited me to the universities for 2 residencies. It hasn't happened a lot that I get invited back to back. They are invited today and then maybe another 2 years or something like that. But they back to back. They were very, very successful to the point where the students said, we want to have a food minor. Now, what we understand from Chef, he explained to us where we understand food is so important. We demand that the school start a program so as to learn more. So that to me, that was very good feedback and partly kind of answers your question. That if the museum, the universities, they say, yeah, we see value. If other people outside the country, they say, we see value, come, then this is the doors I want to open for African cuisine.
Thank you very much. I mean, what's your message?
What my message?
To African youth and Africans in general, to other African chefs. About the value of African food, you know? What's your message?
Yeah, my message is African food is going to be as important, as valuable as we decide it to be. For me, I'm a very small, minute, one sand in the ocean.
Maybe more than that. Okay.
But maybe yes, I have somebody say that. But I want to be an example of what is possible if we believe, but 2, we invest. We invest. A lot of people want good things to happen. A lot of people want African food to be respected. But are you willing to walk the talk? Or are you, why don't you have African food? Okay, show me, or why should I respect it? Why should I pay more money? For example, one time, and this is just for demonstration, as a talking point for the youth. I made one menu, I'll just tell you very quick. This professor on a panel with, he's from India, Professor Krishnendu. He did a study of ethnic cuisine in the US, meaning food that's from outside, Chinese, Korean, Italian, like this. And he ranks the food as the most expensive to the least expensive. African food was almost at the bottom. The Japanese, French, Italian was ranking high. So, and he and I were on the same panel at one time. So I asked myself, I always ask myself that, I always want to make food that is not for other people. It's self-respecting. That if it's self-respecting, other people don't respect, just your business. So in one situation, I was invited to make a menu that was $250. I don't know how many beer that is in the US.
Maybe 250,000 or something.
In beer.
$250.
No, $250. $250.
5,000.
25
to 35.
35,000. So this kind of, for people to just come and experience the food, listen to the so like that, right? So if the market can respond positively to that, then the African food, nobody can. My son, your son, his son, he can never say. Somebody can say, how much is African food you're selling? 50, 75? Oh, no. African food doesn't cost that much. Now already you can say, oh, you think that? Let's Google. You see, this is 250. So that's, my food doesn't have to go. It doesn't always have to be 250. But it's possible. So I'm kicking the doors.
Okay. Thank you very much. So finally,
yes,
if I you live in the US,
sure.
If I come to the US,
yes,
some point, if you invite me to your home,
true.
What is the food that you're going to cook for me?
The
special food that you're going.
The special food.
What would you put into it?
Good question. So my approach to food is the same all the time. So if you have a celebration, unless maybe we kill an animal, if we have a goat, then we kill. Because we always eat organic food, the intention is always celebratory, is always. So I probably just make more dishes, and always all my recipes are always original. Hardly, very few recipes do I make over and over again, right? But if you come to my house, the cuisine that or the food that I'll prepare will be primarily determined by two things. One, the season. Because I try to cook food in season. I have a garden in the backyard, and where am I going? That's what I go. And I train my mind. I'm almost like an anti-recipe chef. For me, I cook what is there. And that's what I try to teach people. Get out of the frame mind of my brother cooks a certain way. No, and if I'm a professional, I understand. But see, this is my encouragement. And if you only go far, I want you to lift up. I'm happy if that's the best you can do. So that's one. So what's in season? Number two, how I feel. Because the food, I never make the same food again the same way. It's like a river. You can't step on the same river twice, same water. If the river is moving, so I feel different. What is available? How much money do I have? How far can I travel? I can tell you there is a farmer who is a surgeon. He raises the best meat I have. His cows, he has 500 acres. The cows move 3 times a day. They eat here, they in morning, they eat in the afternoon, they eat there in the evening. They don't eat on top of their own feces. They drink water from the pond. He has 20,000 running feet of running water in his paddocks. So every paddock, the cows can drink water from a contrapted device where the water doesn't stand still and affect and come up with bacteria, right? So this meat, and the cows will not come back to that patch until 30 days or 60 days, something like that, like long time. So by the time they come back, all the feces they had there has already become common. Very high. He's a brain surgeon and an eye surgeon. Very smart guy, but he's also a farmer.
So you're going to bring the meat from?
So I go bring bread.
Okay. That's the promise then.
The promise.
But tell me when you are feeling happy, then because it depends also on your feeling, yeah?
Oh, no. I just say depend. You see, happiness is not like a speed limit. You don't say the speed limit is 65, right? Happiness is just how you.
There is a lot of ranges.
Yeah. It can be just that day, man. I was invited to AFSA. I'm so excited because I'm coming to Africa. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've never been invited to Africa. You're the first organization.
Oh, really?
Which broke my heart before. Very now you say sometimes I don't feel good. When I thought about, hey, look, I'm invited to all these countries. Never in Africa. Oh, I don't feel good. So now if I'm cooking like I love it. But now you come up, you've been invited to AFSA and then to other conferences. Then it makes me feel happy.
Thank you. I'm
So
so happy to hear that. Thank you very much for coming to my podcast.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Keep up the wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I really, really, truly appreciate this convening of all these chefs.
Yeah.
I thank Chef Diankara for proposing the idea and for you guys being very receptive.
Yeah.
They met a lot of wonderful people, politicians.
Thank you.
Like I'm very, very
Thank you. No, I always ask the so what questions.
Mm-hmm.
So what? We have brought all these people here, discussed. You have decided to do A, B, C, D. So what? Tomorrow that something has to happen.
Sure.
So that's why my focus is.
See,
something has
to
happen.
happen.
Whether we are involved in Asasa or something has to happen.
True.
Otherwise, it's a loss.
Yes.
A loss of your time, a loss of our money, a loss about that.
True.
But God help us.
No, I tell you this, and now this is my response, my last.
Yeah. This,
Yes. So my experience, my humble experience, is my job is to just do at every step, do the best. If somebody listen, if I come here and I talk and people, one lady was very, very honest, and I really, really appreciate. She told me, in your discussion, I lost you. She said, yeah, honestly, I lost you. You know, it's very complex idea. I lost you. Very good, right? Now, when I was talking to the lady from Zimbabwe there, what's her name? The light-skinned lady who is moderating.
Ma something, yeah.
Yes, you understand what I'm saying. So she understood. She really liked the story. Matter of fact, I thought maybe my own, I didn't know obviously how the podcast, but I said to a few people, if you really enjoyed it, maybe if we do the podcast, I don't know the format, I just say maybe, I'll explain why I use the Greek mythology almost all the time in my writing. By the way, just for an interesting point, people who are writers think, by their feedback, they say, I think you started a new genre because you combine like Greek mythology, intellectual stuff, with very indigenous stuff. They're very close to you. And then you blend them so well that they almost look like they're twins. They fit together, right? So, but this is now my feedback to you, also by the part of the story. I did not know how much time I'll get to speak. And this is the story I wanted to tell some kind of way. So I only had 20 minutes, and I still went over. But I had to speak very quickly, which I try always to avoid because there is the fire, and I don't want to speak so people don't understand. And sometimes some things are not for everybody. Some people but if you know generally about especially when I'm talking so fast. But those who got it, so I was trying to put 1 hour typically, right? 1 hour speak, 45 minutes in 20 minutes. So I had to skip a lot of things, right? But for those who got it, yes. But they said maybe next time, maybe not this, but sometimes when we can do a podcast and I can explain why in Ethiopia in like 30 minutes or something like that. If only that, and say, look, this is, but especially for the other people I thought who might have missed or got lost, this is my payment to them. Explain the background only. This is what the Trojan, the two books, and why I use them, and why they are connected to Ethiopia. Because Ethiopia is very central to that story. And it's because of Ethiopia being mentioned in that story that allows me to plug it in so perfectly with Africa. Because these people are not saying to me, they are saying to themselves what they think about Ethiopia and by extension, and Ethiopia wasn't just to them, it wasn't just the boundaries of Ethiopia, it was general region. And even if it was just that, it was fine. Ethiopia is part of Africa. So they say this about Africa, it's good things about Africa, then some good things about Africa.
Thank you so much, my brother.